Welcome to Relics Radio, your favorite weekly podcast dedicated to the metal detecting and treasure hunting community. Here are your hosts, Ken from Adventures in Dirt and Tony from 5280 Adventures.
Hey, well, I guess that means I need to put my glasses on, right? If we're going to start the show, we are professionals. Hey, everyone. DK here from Adventures in Dirt. Welcome to Relics Radio Thursday night with you all joining us. Those of you listening later on the audio podcast, we want to welcome you. We see you out there. Make sure you're dropping us a line. We see the numbers. We know you're still there. So thanks. I know when we switched over to the video portion, sometimes it was a little bit of a challenge because you can't see what we're seeing, but I invite you to come over and check out 5280 Adventures to check out the video portion of Relics Radio. But you can always catch our audio on the replay the following day or so. I'm going to bring on my co-host, the co-host with the most, you know him as Mr. 5280 Adventures.
Cheers, brother.
Cheers.
That's right. Hey, just a reminder, this is Wednesday night, not Thursday night.
What did I say? Thursday night?
We've been doing Thursday nights for I don't know how many years, and we switched it to Wednesdays, and I can't get used to it either.
Did I say Thursday night? Thursday?
You did. That's fine. It's all good. We're professionals here. Come on.
Total professionals. My God.
All right, cut. Let's start over. We can't do that.
All right, everyone, hang on. We're going to start over. Yeah, it's got to be.
Grandma's baroque.
I'm just getting old. I think that's what it is. I'm starting to get old. Yeah,
it's all good.
Yeah,
we got a really good show tonight. This is like a long time in coming here for us to be able to have Bill Hayes on as a guest. And
how long have we been talking about it? We've been talking about it forever.
Yeah. And finally he agreed to it. We held him to it. He actually accepted the invitation. We held him to it. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. He might, we'll see.
I'm looking forward.
It's going to be a great show. We had lots of positive reaction when we posted the links out on social media. People were like, "Oh yeah, Bill's fantastic." Yeah. So if you guys are joining us right now, stick around because we got some stories. I mean, Ohio boys. We may dump you and may just maybe an Ohio boy podcast tonight.
Ohio Relics Radio. That's what shoot, I was just thinking about it.
Yeah, what were you gonna say?
I don't know. I'm getting old. I forgot. Did you in the show prep with Bill, did you get him to choose a song? That what you're gonna have him sing tonight?
No. Actually, yeah, he said he was gonna sing Yankee Doodle Dandy because he originally wrote that.
The rap version? The rap version or
we're giving him the business and he's down in the green room. He can't even reply back to us. It's not fair. Come on now.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to talking to Bill. It's good to have him here with us tonight. Who's joining us tonight?
Well, we had Flash in the Pan.
Hey, Ed.
Ed's joining us. And then we got this guy here, huh? Ohio Relic Hunter.
We're going to talk about you tonight, buddy.
Yeah. He skated on us. He had an invitation as well. How about Detect SD?
Hey,
we're going to see you soon. Exactly. He's going to be out for something we're going to talk about here pretty soon, Rush to the Rockies. So Keith McDaniel saying hello to us. Welcome in, Keith. East Idaho Digger, EID. Welcome in.
Good to see you.
How about some Dig Fitty Fitty?
Fitty. How you doing, man?
How about the Relic Jedi?
Sorry, it was really
that, man. I know. Mandy's Candy, welcome.
Hello, Pastor.
We got Brandon Townsend.
Hello, Brandon. Good to see you, man.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
B-Town.
Right, B-Town.
Like it.
We saw Lurker Troy was on here earlier.
Yeah.
I'm zipping through these. How about Drummond Detect?
Wow, good to see you, man. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, Drummond Detect actually sent me a picture of his license plate. You'll never guess what he has on it.
Drummond
5280.
Oh,
no.
No,
he just got a standard one. It came with 5280 on. He's like, I got to send this to Tony.
Gotcha. Perfect.
That's hilarious. Hey, we got joining us over on Facebook, Ohio History Hunter.
Hey, all right. Welcome.
Ohio. Yeah, welcome on.
Perfect, man.
I've spoken with him a couple times. He's very, very active over on Facebook, and we've got to get him on the show. We keep missing paths and cross, and we've been talking about getting him on the show and stuff. So hopefully pretty soon here.
Have you offered him some money?
No, I think he doesn't want to sing a song. How about Dennis Grettencord?
Hello, Dennis.
Yeah, we got to say cheers to 5 Mile Relic Hunter. That's right.
I don't have anything.
Gosh.
I was teasing you about your small bottle of bourbon that you had earlier.
I know. I posted it right before the show there. Breckenridge Distillery.
Yeah.
Good whiskey. Good whiskey out here in Colorado. Believe it or not.
It is. I did a barbecue thing. Like, I used to be on a competition barbecue team, and this guy that used to own this barbecue shop, his son was graduating, so he got me and the whole team together to come out there, because we put on a show, and the whole thing, we cooked this competition barbecue, and we came out, we did this whole thing for the guy, right? And as a thank you, we didn't know about it, right? As a thank you, the wife had gone out and bought us all these huge baskets. And in them, they had like 3 or 4 bottles of bourbon, and the center one was this gigantic bottle of Breckenridge bourbon. And I had never had it before, and I tried it, and I really liked it. And now it's one of my go-tos for sure.
Yeah. Yep. This is the second bottle I've got, because the first one I got was really good. So I went back and got another one.
How about that?
I was kind of questioning, do I get the big bottle? Do I get, I don't want them to think I'm an alcoholic or something. So I went with kind of the reasonable size.
Shoot.
So, hey, let's talk about this hunt coming up next weekend.
Wait a minute. We're still talking about bourbon. We're still talking about bourbon.
Oh, we are?
Stranahan's almost brought that down tonight. Some sherry cask. Almost brought that down tonight. So, and did you see who showed up? Great outdoor detecting. What's up? How are you?
What's up, Zach? How are you, buddy?
All right. Now
we got to get Zach on again.
Yeah, absolutely. We do.
Maybe soon.
Very soon.
All right. Tell us about what's coming up next weekend.
Whew, is it already that time? My gosh. When you plan something like Rush to the Rockies, a metal detecting event, and you open it up to everyone, and you bring in, there's so much to plan. There's so much to think about. And we had a meeting last night, and there's still things to think about, even though we think we have it all planned out. It's getting down to the wire. I'll tell you that. If you're not coming, you need to check it out. Go to eurekathc.org and look for Rush to the Rockies. You can Google or search for Rush to the Rockies. You'll find it. You can ask Tony and I about it on email if you want. But Rush to the Rockies is our National Open Metal Detecting event, May 30th, 31st, and June 1st. That's a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Boy, we have all the big manufacturers helping us out. We have Nocta, our main sponsor, helping us out. Garrett came to town in a really big way, and Mind Lab stepped up too. I'll tell you what, not only did they step up in sponsoring us, giving us some cool things for some token prizes and some raffle prizes, but they're also bringing their Masters of Metal detecting competition to the Rush to the Rockies hunt. So May 30th, 31st, and June 1st. Man, that's next weekend, isn't it? Holy
next weekend. Yeah.
Following weekend. Yeah. But you can come out, you can join the Masters of Metal competition. Just look down below. We'll put a link down to it down there. And you have to register for that on Mind Lab's website for the Masters of Metal. And you can get more information over at eurekathc.org. Or just search for Rush to the Rockies. We have so much stuff. We have 5 hunts planned, 3 hunts on Saturday, 2 hunts on Sunday, plus a free kids hunt on Sunday, plus the Masters of Metal going on all throughout it. You can come and just take place in the Masters of Metal. It's $50 for a 4-person team. And, or you can, you can participate in both. You can do one or the other. They're not going to interfere with each other. But come on out and join Tony and I. We have a lot of people showing up. The numbers have grown and grown. So we're looking forward to seeing everyone out here in Kiowa, Colorado, May 30th, 31st, and June 1st.
How many entries do we have for Rush of the Rockies? What was it? 80
to 100, almost up to 100 right now.
Yeah. So you're going to want to be a part of it. You're not going to want to miss that one for sure.
Yep.
All right.
Cool. I'm just reading the chat. I was like, look at this.
I know. I was trying to catch up on the chat there too.
Let's bring in our guests. That's cool.
All right. Let's do this. Proud to bring on this guy right here. Look at this. We got Mr. Bill Hayes from the great state of OH.
That's right. How are you, Bill?
Doing good.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming on Relics Radio with us. I appreciate it.
This ought to be a lot of fun.
It should be. Now, how long have you been listening to Relics Radio? Since the beginning?
Back pretty much to the beginning.
Yeah.
I might have missed a couple shows early, but back when Loy and Jeff were running things.
Yeah.
So when I started listening.
Yeah. That's a while now. It's been 8 years? I think we're in
8 years.
Eighth year right now. And that's a long time, man. I know I've seen you. And Tony and I think were guests on that very first season. Loy invited us on as guests.
Yeah.
And so we've been fans from get-go, from show. Same thing with you, Bill. I think I probably didn't discover it until show 5 or something like that, or 4 or 5, and then started listening. Now you've detected with Loy, right?
Yeah. Down DIV one time.
Down at DIV. That's digging in Virginia. For those that might not be familiar with that.
I think we was at Brandy Rock at time.
Mm-hmm.
That's a real big area to hunt.
Brandy Rock, yeah.
I think they've been there a couple times for DIV, haven't they? Dug that spot?
For that spot, they've probably done close to a dozen times.
Yeah.
They've hit that place pretty hard. But it's so big that you couldn't clean it out.
Right. I was gonna say I noticed you appear to be a big fan of Relics to the Radio. We have matching hats. Look at that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I almost
look at that.
Mine says Relics.
Yeah.
Love you representing the show
of the show there, huh?
Yeah, that's right. How many of them digging in Virginians have you gone to, Bill? Have you been to a number of them?
I think I went about 3 or 4 years there, but some of those where they would do like a double, do one at one site and then, just shift and then you'd go to the other site.
Yeah.
It was like 5 or 6 days of, digging from about 8 o'clock in the morning till dark.
Yeah. It wears you out. You have to.
Yeah.
You have to. You live for a reason, so you might as well put in daylight, sun up to sundown. I mean, we've done the same thing in England, same idea. If you're wasting any daylight, you're just wasting time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or anything can be great over there, any beep, so when you get on those sites and you think about what was happening there during the time they were there and some of the stuff they left behind. Did you find anything interesting in your times there, Bill?
Bunch of different bullets and buttons. I did get down there. I think it was, I can't remember the name of the place there. It was Ratry. That was where they found that whole 2 cases of Shaler bullets.
Oh, no kidding.
I don't know if you ever remember seeing any of that. I think they found like 908 complete set. The Shaler's 3 pieces.
Yeah.
Jeez.
That's a lot.
That's a good spot. That's a good spot for
you
sure.
You were there to see that? What's your dog's name?
Sadie.
Sadie.
She hears another dog outside.
Right.
Oh yeah.
She's got to protect the house. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I went to Coles Hill. That's the only digging in Virginia I've gone to.
I think I've been to, Brandy Rock a couple of times. Beauregard.
Oh,
Yeah.
There was couple others like Fairfield, I think it was. That one was a little ways away from there. It was I think it was about a half hour or more drive to get to it.
oh, really?
But it was a battle. That had surprisingly good, soil there. You get down there, Beauregard, Brandy Rock, that is the nastiest soil you've ever seen. It would make you talk to yourself.
Why so? Why is it so bad there?
It's the mineralization. I guess it is like a deteriorating iron. There's just the ground is just so saturated. If you ever heard them talk about the red dirt, that's
proper red dirt.
That stuff. You can lay a coin on top of the ground in some places, and you cannot hear it. It's that
wow,
mineralized.
Yeah, it's funny you brought that up because there was a question that just went in the chat from Dropped and Forgotten. It said, "Is it true you need a PI machine for DIV? I heard the noise is bad, multi and single frequency machines."
Yeah, most of the time you can use a regular machine on there, a regular VLF, but you have to go very slow and you have to go dig every signal, every little blip. But some places where they're not in the plowed fields, they're be in the woods or something, you can use a VLF in there pretty easily and get a little depth out of it there. But out in the plowed fields, the VLF is pretty much useless. Nowadays, because they've cleaned out all the surface stuff, and you have to have something that to get at least a foot. You have to go at least a foot to get this stuff nowadays.
Yeah, at least a foot, and sometimes a lot further than that.
And a lot further sometimes.
When I went to Coles Hill, I went there and met up with Matt Howe and all his buddies.
Mm-hmm.
And I borrowed a PI machine from Jeff Lubert. Okay. He let me borrow his 4800.
Yeah.
And it was interesting.
Tough to learn on the fly.
A PI machine is just totally different. You cannot pick one of them up and just go out and hunt with it right off the bat. Just the signals and pinpointing and everything. It's totally different than a PI or than a VLF machine.
VLF, yeah, nice
and heavy. They're also heavy.
Yeah,
very heavy.
Do you have what PI machine do you use, Bill? When you go out there, do you have
I've got one of the Garrett ATXs.
Oh wow,
that thing is a tank.
Yeah, it is.
How do you carry that around? Jeez.
I had to finally, after using for a day or so the first time, I think a guy, Keith from Mine Lab dealer over in Pennsylvania. He had what they call a Mine Lab Pro Swing. It's like a vest with bungee cords and that on it, where you can hook it up and it takes some of the weight off.
Right.
The only thing
it's almost essential to have that thing.
It's almost what, Tony?
Yeah,
it's almost essential to have some sort of a cord or a device to be able to hold it. I mean, you're not swinging that all day long without one of those.
No, that's when you're glad to have a place with plenty of signals. That way you're up and down.
You put it down.
Yeah, there's always
get a break in between.
That's right. You wouldn't make it if you were swinging the entire field and only getting a few signals. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Right.
I had a blast, but you're right. It was a completely different type of dig. And then you have the added excitement of if you get into a pit.
Mhm.
You start
Yeah.
digging charcoal and bone.
Yeah, I never tried a pit. That takes a little different style of hunting to get that.
Yeah.
For sure. For sure.
Matt and all his friends are really into it. And when I was at Coles Hill, I saw about 10 guys digging a hole probably 4 foot deep and probably 10 feet in diameter. And they were all taking turns digging it out, and they were just pulling stuff out left and right. And it was pretty cool.
What's funny is when they start digging in pits, they can actually walk off so many steps in that, and they'll find the next one. They're always in a line up a hill or so. They forget how many feet it was between huts, but you could almost count. And
isn't that cool?
predict where the next one was.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I like that.
And then when they start digging for them, you just stand there at the bottom of the hill and you could just look up and you could see all the pits.
Sure.
Wow. Yep. When you see old pictures of some of those places too, you see how they're all regimented and lined up, and it makes a lot of sense. Now you got me wanting to go back, man. I gotta go.
I know.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
It's so much fun.
Well, hey, we had a quick question early on here, just to kind of start things off from Relic Jedi. I just want to know how many years you've been swinging, and then kind of what part of Ohio you're from.
I've been hunting for, I think, about 50 years now. I started in 1975.
That was a good year. That was a really good year.
I started out with the big old whites, 63 TR, big tank. That's the one they called the lunchbox whites. You could drop the battery door on the back. There's enough room in the bottom, the case there, that you could slide a sandwich in.
I got to look it up now, man.
I know, right?
It was the whites 63 TR Goldmaster, right?
Goldmaster. Yeah, probably 1.5 feet long, about 6-8 inches tall.
Looks like a Geiger counter.
And a straight handle. How they got them now. This was the handle was level with the top of the detector. There's no tilt or nothing on it.
Not ergonomic at all.
Wrist was in a very hard position. But back then, we was young. We could do that kind of stuff.
Check it out, Tony. That's it right there.
Oh yeah. I've absolutely seen those. Wow.
Big handle on the top, like a lunchbox.
And all it had probably was an on button, right? And some sort of a meter.
On, off, and tuner that it had what they called a metal or mineral.
Oh.
You could actually get it to pick up rocks, certain types of rocks and stuff, because it had a mineral side on it.
Gotcha.
That's a good picture there.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. That's a long time, Bill.
I was going to say, you know what? I think I've seen those in like antique shopping stores and.
Yeah.
Bill, you've been hunting as long as Tony's been around.
Yep. That's why I said 75 was a good year. I was born in September of 75. See?
Yeah.
Ohio Relic Hunter said I started with the 62 Whites or Master. Does that ring a bell there, Bill? You remember those?
It looked somewhat similar. It
sure
had different buttons and stuff, switches. back then they didn't have buttons.
Yeah.
Right.
What got you into it, Bill? Like, of all things, right? Where'd that come from?
Yeah, I always been interested in history and stuff like that. So, I think I just started. I seen them on in a magazine or something like that, and then I just talking to a couple of people I used to work with, and they were detecting, and that's how I kind of got started. That's how I ended up with the whites, because that was what they were using.
Yeah.
Right. I wanted to show this picture you talking about getting started. How about this one right here? Tell us about this picture.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got to know about that one.
What's going on there?
Look
Look at you, man.
Yeah, it's been a pretty old picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see because it's got a Garrett patch on there. That's really old. That's probably early 70s or mid 70s.
Okay.
Collector's item now.
Yeah, we was called the Red Legs. There was a gang of us, 5 of us that we all went to hunts together.
Even going
the
on
red
back
pants
then,
and
the red
different,
I love it.
the shirts and everything.
That's
Wow.
so cool. What can you identify any of the machines sitting right here by chance?
Actually, that one right there, the blue, it's got the blue on it.
Yeah.
That's a Garrett 80X2, 80S2.
Okay.
It's been repainted. It wasn't green anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But,
I
Used to
got
be
you.
green.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of a wear it metal detector?
Wear it? No.
No.
Wear it.
Do you wear it?
It's a mutant. It's a Garrett metal detector with a white coil.
Oh.
You had to have a special adapter for the cable, for the coil cable to make them match. But it worked as good, or actually worked better than the Garrett loop, because the Garrett loop, if you bump it, you got a signal. With the White's loop, if you bump it, it just kind of gnawed out. So you wasn't chasing. You wasn't chasing signals.
Right.
How'd you get them to talk to each other? You just had to get a special adapter, you said?
Yeah, you just had to change the pin locations.
Oh yeah.
They run the same frequency. They run everything. The pins were just didn't match up. So you had to have that little piece that was probably about that long. You screwed it onto the box of the detector and screwed the coil into the other end.
When you hear that,
Technology.
you just think of such a different time than now. Now we go out and we buy a detector, and it is what it is.
All proprietary.
No one would ever think of busting the box open and putting 3 or 4 more wires in there and a couple pins and making some Frankenstein metal detector out of it that works better.
Yeah.
But that's back then. That's what they did.
Ohio Relic Hunter City called the Red Legs the polyester pirates.
We were called a few other things too.
Yeah, you're out there finding all the good stuff, not leaving anything for anybody else.
Well, yeah, that's for sure.
That must have been the heyday. Wow.
Yeah. Teresa said you look like a NASCAR guy.
The funny thing is, we were at a convention over in Atlantic City. They had a treasure hunting convention at the same time. The Federation metal detectors. We were going to be staying at Trump Castle there on Atlantic City. We got out of there. We had our red outfits on and everything. The security guard looked at us and said, "You guys where's the race car at? He thought it was a pit crew.
Yeah, you look like it.
Absolutely. Yeah, it looks like you were changing tires for Dale Earnhardt there. You just need a cigarette hanging out of your mouth, and
That's
great
fun, though.
picture. Love that.
So even the camaraderie
Cool.
and the community was alive
Oh,
and
yeah.
kicking back then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But boy, you probably got on a lot of sites in those early days that had a lot of things at them, had a lot of items at them because things weren't as hunted out, and you probably got on some really interesting property back then.
Yeah. Tony said he's coming back here east next month, I think it is, isn't it?
Yep. I'll be there.
We'll probably take you to one of the spots where hunted back in the late 70s, early 80s, found all kinds of barber and a couple of seated and a 1807 two real.
Wow. Oh, okay. I'm ready for that. I'll take that any day. Absolutely.
See, it's like this one.
Whoop. Sorry. Working on there.
There
we go.
A little higher.
Up a little higher.
There we go.
Oh, look at that. Holy crap.
That's nice.
Huge.
That's a 2 real, Bill?
No.
That's a 2 real.
That's a 2.
Really?
He just had it up to the camera close.
Oh, okay.
Beautiful, though. Yeah.
There's the little dinky ones. That's a half real.
Half real. Okay.
Right.
All those are found at the same
dime.
site? All those are found at the same site?
No. The 2 real was from that site. I was talking about. It was an old carnival or Picnic Grove Carnival Grand. Used to have steam engine shows up there.
Oh, wow.
And I got a lot of old barber. Got one seated quarter, and I got that 2 real.
That's pretty cool. But I thought you guys told me, or somebody once told me, that there's no more relics in Ohio. They're just hunted out.
There's places that are hunted out, and there's places that you go in. If you're lucky, you'll get a couple pieces.
Right.
Yeah, you might hunt all day and find, the place where I got the piece of 8. That place has been beat to death, but it's still giving up.
Yeah.
Go out there.
Is that the button site or something like that you call that?
Yeah, it's what they call the Button Foundation.
Oh, okay.
I think Bill Marsh and somebody else actually found the place when it was a virgin site. I think he said they pulled, 200, 300 buttons out of there.
Wow.
Jeez.
Pretty amazing.
Being back from 70s on, I mean, you have to understand what a virgin site is. For the rest of us now digging in 2020s, I hardly ever is called a virgin site, honestly.
Yeah, it's almost impossible to find one of them.
Yeah. Wow.
Unless some little spot that there's totally no idea. There was something there. You just happened to stumble over it.
Well, actually, Ken and I did have a virgin site, and we stumbled on it.
Yeah.
The area had been actually hunted since the 90s by archaeologists, our treasure hunting club.
Yep.
And we just we came upon one site, and that's what we called the Button House. Ironically, because we found a whole bunch of general service buttons, a whole bunch of star carbine bullets, and it was a cavalry camp on that specific spot. Yeah. And everything else around it had been hit by the archaeologists since the 90s, except for that one small little spot. And we hunted that for close to a year and a half.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I found needles there, and I found I found there was forks and knives there, like period forks and knives. And I found like 7 or 8 of
cool
these little
site.
needles, man, that were definitely period. I don't know. And the Colorado soil, Bill, is very, very, very loamy and very gentle on these relics. Like they really preserve these relics in great shape. And I think that, yeah, we even saw a map of how the detectorists from back then and the archaeologists, what they had hit and what they had found. And they never got permission for that one lot
that one
that
lot
we happened to hit.
Yep.
And we didn't know that ahead of time. We knew that after the fact. So we hit
Yeah.
this lot and just had a great year. And then somebody stepped forward and said, wow, you guys hit the spot that we didn't hit, you know?
Yeah, Bill in the chat says they got 140 buttons the first day at that site and the same on day 2. That's a busy site.
And then look what else he put real quick. He said they were everything from script war of 1812 to eagle buttons to tombacks to dandy. That is such a spread, right?
Used, for a long time. That's great.
Yeah. Wow.
What a great site. Wow. I got another picture I wanted to share with you real quick here. I know you got a kick out of the last one. How about this one?
There's red legs again.
That's right.
Yeah.
Look at that, winning first place. Got the Garrett on there.
Mm-hmm.
Custom color blue.
Do you remember what this event was or anything?
That was a Land of Lincoln hunt over in Springfield, Illinois. You know,
wow.
They had like a 2-round competition. Had the most targets. You know, most out of 2 rounds.
Mm.
That's
Tony,
awesome.
there's a lot going on in that picture right there.
There's a lot.
Like that belt buckle's really cool.
I love it.
It's a major belt buckle.
Yep.
Now I got a question, Bill. Why didn't you paint your Garrett red?
Yeah.
Back then, I didn't think of that. Probably because all I had was a can of blue paint.
There you go.
That's funny.
Man, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's great, man. Tony, that we need to revive that.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
I don't.
Wouldn't that be
I
great
don't
for us
think
to show up like
nobody
that
wants
at
to.
Masters
nobody
of
wants
Metal
to
competition.
Yeah, nobody wants to see me in tight red polyester pants, though. That's not a sight anybody wants to see. I think Bill was the last guy that could wear those.
That's great.
Did you get that one picture I sent you earlier today? Or the picture ad?
I did not. Whoop.
There you go.
Sorry about that. Hit the wrong button.
You were in a Fisher ad?
Yeah.
I
thought I sent it to you.
Let me see.
Oh no, I didn't see that one.
Look at that. The whole team of the Red Legs.
He looks like Boys to Men or some
boy
NSYNC
band.
or Backstreet Boys. The original Backstreet Boy picture right there.
Bill, hold that back up. Did it say hunters beware on that thing? They're coming for you. Hunters beware.
Hunters
Look at
beware.
that. Oh my gosh. Stop right there. Red Legs. Don't the quiet one has arrived. Oh my gosh. The new 1236X2. Oh my goodness. New silencer mode. Oh, that's awesome.
Wow.
Eddie Davis, Ron David, Bill Hayes, Dave Carter. Cool. Very cool.
That is great.
That's awesome.
Oh, Drum of the Text said the name of that group was called the Backfield Boys.
Backfield Boys. Perfect. That's awesome.
Somebody told us one time we was the Domino's pizza. He said we deliver.
We deliver. That's great. Well, I'm glad you let us poke some fun at you back then there, Bill.
Absolutely.
It's a lot of fun to see that. You know, I love seeing people that have been doing it as long as you've been doing it and hear the stories from back in the day of just like what it was like back then. Like, how did you get your permissions back then? Like, what did you look for? Because there's farm fields, there's woods in the woods.
Back then, a lot of times we was hunting, parks and schoolyards and stuff like that. There wasn't, nobody back then, nobody even bothered, really asking for permissions. If it was public property, you just went in and hunted and nobody bothered you. They didn't, as long as you wasn't making a mess or something, they didn't care.
Sure. Huh. Wow. Well, so there wasn't like a lot of not a lot of research to get on specific sites. It was just kind of go.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, it was like, parks and, fairgrounds and school, old schoolhouses and stuff.
Now, would you find, and that was all in Ohio? Like, if you always
just
hunted in Ohio?
Sometimes we'd hunt different places when we went for treasure hunts. We would do some hunting different places. Somebody tell us, get us into.
Have you totaled up how many states you've hunted over 50 years? And any ballpark figure?
I would say it's easily over 25.
Half the states. There you go. Jeez. That's so cool. What was it like when, hunting back then, going to the parks, in say 70s and 80s? I mean, you got to be, I've heard stories of people, old timers that have been around forever, and like, you couldn't, leave without having 5 silver coins in your pocket.
Yeah.
Because it was just, that's what.
Back then, that wasn't really no big deal.
Right.
It was no big deal. Yeah,
Jeez.
I just found a bunch of silvers. Didn't find.
I got a dime. Yeah, I got a dime that's 7 years old. No big deal.
Yeah. There was a lot of times you'd have more silver than you would clad.
That's amazing. Wow. Oh, take that in, everybody. Holy
I know,
cow.
right?
Yeah.
Right. Jeez.
Here's something that came in from X.
There's Mark.
Scott. Good to see you, Mark. The old timers around there talked about hunting places that are now protected and illegal, like old military sites, historical sites back when they weren't protected. Yeah. Did you ever get on any of them sites?
I never got onto that. Most of that was early 70s or late 60s. I guess back then, a lot of places were, even the national parks were really open.
Wow.
It was really, different back then than it is now.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure.
When did you get attracted to relics, or were you finding relics in the parks and such back then, since it was Ohio?
I get more in, the relics when we, with the Red Legs gang, we'd, a lot of times we'd stop if we was in, some area where it had Civil War, stuff. We would take a little time and go do some hunting there, or we would take and get together and go like on a, Thanksgiving weekend. We always went down around Shiloh and down in there, that direction. We had some friends down there to get us into different places to go hunting. So it was kind of like a once a year thing.
Yeah. You consider yourself a relic hunter these days, or you will go
these days? Yeah, it's now. Basically, I don't go out in the park or somewhere like that. I go back in the woods or plowed fields, stuff like that. You may come out of there whole day and have a handful of something, but it's going to be good.
Yeah. It's going to be old. That you get into those places where you don't get the cross contamination in terms of dates and things like that. So you're not digging, bottle caps. You're not digging beaver tails. You're not digging aluminum cans. Hopefully, if you're going to get a signal, it's going to be an old something.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like what we call the relic hunter's pull tab.
Yeah.
The shotgun bases.
Yeah.
You ever heard of
Right.
a 12th Georgia button?
Oh, we do. Yes, we have. We
Yeah.
they were all the way out here in Colorado too, Bill.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Those 12th Georgia boys.
Those guys were everywhere.
And they were. My gosh.
I dug
You
a
know,
few
I
of
one
them
time-
last weekend.
You know, I found a very rare 16th Georgia. Not too many people know that
Mm.
there was a 16th Georgia too. And
Yeah.
I found a couple of those.
And their cousin's the 20th Georgia.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And I even found a real rare one, Sunday there. I found a 410th Georgia.
410th Georgia.
410th Georgia. Wow.
They were an elite group. They were an elite unit, I heard.
That's
Uh,
right. That's right.
Yeah, Teresa said even in England you have 12th Georgia
Yeah.
over there. And Bill,
Yeah, you see that one of them, dig a hole and then it pops up and you just see that back flat.
Yes.
yeah.
It's about the size of a, quarter or
quarter.
a nickel or something.
Mm.
You think
Yeah.
you really got something.
Yep.
They sound
Wow,
so
they're-
good. They sound
How many
so
times
good.
has that happened? How many times?
Oh.
I mean, if you don't get 3 of those in a hunt, if you don't get 3 holy craps that I got a coin, then and it turns out to be a head stamp, then you're digging the wrong ones.
Yeah, it's hard to separate those out, man. It's really
Yeah,
hard.
They just sound so good. They're crisp. Yeah.
They sound just like a coin.
Yeah.
But I can tell a lot of times before I dig, I could say it's going to be a, shotgun base.
Yeah. Still fun to dig. I mean,
Yeah.
this guy right here, he found one that what was it? The shotgun. What was that? What's the website? Didn't have a picture of it. Ken found one of those.
Cartridge
recently.
corner. Cartridge
Cartridge
corner.
corner. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
They're fun. They're
Yeah.
you can date them, which is what I like. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? You kind of
Yeah.
get an idea of the site you're on. If you're finding everything from 20s and 30s, you're probably on a 20s to 30s or so site. So it's kind of good to help age the area you're in.
we can. Yeah, for sure.
Have you ever dug a full metal cartridge? Copper
No.
or brass?
For a shotgun
Got
show?
two of
Not
them.
for shotguns, yeah.
Yeah,
Not for shotguns.
full
Wow.
shotgun
No.
shell. Yeah.
Full jacket. Wow.
Jeez. I've never dug one of those.
We've dug
Yeah,
like full like Henry cartridges and sharps and stuff like that, breech loading cartridges and stuff, but
Yeah.
never shotgun for me, never a shotgun cartridge.
No.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
gotten two. One of them was kind of smashed. The other one was pretty good shape.
Wow.
Wow.
What's the date range on that sucker?
I've never really,
Yeah.
tried to check it out. It's one of them things you bring in, you sit it down, say, I'm going to check this out, and then you never
Yeah.
do get around to it.
Yep.
We had some questions come in, didn't we, Tony?
How about- Actually, Bill just said I got a full brass 12th Georgia at the Button Foundation. What did you not find at the Button Foundation? That list might be a little bit shorter.
Okay. We should just start guessing things and let him see. A skeleton key. We'll see if he's got that or not.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you want to go to for the questions?
Let me see. There's a lot of them. Oh, here we go. Yeah, Bob Rose wanted to know, have you ever hunted in Indiana, Bill?
Yeah, a lot of times.
Hmm.
Used to go over to Seymour. We was down there 3 or 4 times a year for hunts, and that area. We'd go all over there and hunt. What part of Indiana is he from?
I don't know. He didn't say. Let us know, Bob, in the chat. What part of Indiana you from there?
Yeah, there you go.
Have you had a favorite place you've detected? Bill, any state or any specific area that you just really
Ohio.
in all these years, and there's nothing in Ohio, but in all these years, you're just like, yeah, Ken, there was this one site, man. It just was, I'll never forget it. Besides Bill's button foundation.
Yeah.
Actually, one site, it's a guy's farm. His farm butts up against Shiloh Battlefield.
Oh my goodness.
We made friends with the guy, going down there all the time, and his farm is actually part of Shiloh Battlefield, but not the national park. So
Wow.
we could hunt in there, and we got all kinds of different buttons and bullets out of there.
I couldn't even imagine that. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
He had a kind of a flat spot there behind his house, and but they used to pull junk cars in there and everything, and then they cleaned them out of there, but it left a lot of junk, and you had to be able to sort through the junk to get to the buttons and the bullets.
Yeah. Do you know who Rodney Lewis is, Bill?
Names sound a little familiar.
He's on Facebook.
He's on Facebook. He's a bullet guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we had him on the show here. He showed us kind of his setup or his display cabinets and such. And he talked bullets, right? He was on talking about bullets, right, Tony? And he says he's got one of the largest collections of Shiloh artifacts and relics. And boy, I believe him because he showed some stuff out there. And so pretty impressive that you were able to get on that kind of site and find some. Can you remember some of the cooler, the kind of nicer things you found there? Or was it just bullets and buttons and stuff? Like any kind of plates or any kind of?
I never got a plate. The guy that owned the place, him and his son hunted it too. So, they probably cleaned out the easy stuff. When we get in there and work, there was one hill, couple back behind his barn. The hill was we called it Buck and Ball Hill.
Oh yeah.
Oh gosh.
You know what buck and ball is? Little buckshot.
Yeah.
They were just everywhere.
Oh my gosh.
Can't lay off those either. It's kind of tough.
Yeah. You never know.
Too good to.
They sound good too. Hey,
they're still old. They're still old,
yeah,
so you're gonna dig them.
Sure.
Yeah.
John Smith in the chat, or what did he called himself? What was his name? Chuck Bryant. He said hunted that Shiloh land many times, right next to the peach orchard. Park Service hates him too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever get a chance to hunt? Go ahead.
What was you want to say?
I was going to say, did you ever get a chance to hunt with Loy in those 44 woods? Remember, he used to always hunt the 44 woods.
No. Well, I always wanted to get down there and go hunting. What was it? 5 acre hollow or something.
Yeah.
5 mile hollow.
5 mile hollow.
Right.
That was it.
Right.
5 mile hollow.
Yep. That always sounded very attractive to me too. Even getting out on that lake, it sounded always tempting for me to get on that lake out there. 5 mile holler. That's it.
Yeah, that was. He had some stories on that place.
Yeah, he sure did, man. I still love listening to those. Do you get out much these days? And do you usually go out on your own? Or usually with a group?
A lot of times I go out on my own, or if I can talk Bill into it. He's been busy.
Well, we don't know because he's not on here. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
Nudge, nudge. Bill, if you ever come on with us, and we'll bring Bill Hayes back on again.
Yeah.
You'll come on as a duo. We'll talk all about, I promise you, we'll talk all about barbecue first, and then we'll get into metal detecting.
Yeah. First 45 minutes, all about barbecue. We can have pictures. We can have videos.
That's it.
Smell-o-vision. We'll figure that out.
You could put a blanket over, so you can just be like the unknown comic. Remember that guy?
Oh, gosh. The unknown comic.
We got to get you in here, man.
We put a bag over his head and just kept the eyes and
couple
the mouth
holes.
out.
Yeah, he said he was a little too intimidated. Didn't want to come on here. Get you on here. We're gonna get you on here. We're gonna shame you into it, Bill.
That's right. That's right. What do you want to move to next year, Ken? I got some stuff.
Yeah, go for it.
You want to get to the big stuff, to the big find?
Yep. The big questions. Here they come.
Earlier in the night, Bill he had made a statement that cut piece of 8 was in amazing condition. Glad I was a witness to that. And that's definitely something I wanted to talk about tonight. So I'm going to pull this up here, and we're going to play this over the top as you're telling us kind of about what you found here. So we'll pull this up, and here we go.
So first of all, Bill, what is this?
Yeah, tell us.
Yeah, it's a eighth of an 8 real. They took an 8 real and just like cutting a pie, they cut it in 8 equal sections.
Oh, they got sound on it now, but it's pretty low. Oh,
Yeah,
got your volume thing down there. Okay, all right.
Yeah, no, you're good.
So how big was an 8 real, Bill? So people know.
Yeah.
That's about the size of a silver dollar.
Okay. And
Massive.
They called these pieces of 8.
Pieces of 8, yeah.
Yeah. Look at that thing. And
this was out at the Button Foundation or the Foundation House, right?
Yeah.
That had been hunted since 2014, so like 11 years.
Wow, look at that.
That's so amazing. What an amazing piece. Is that your first piece of 8 that you found?
Yeah, that was first cut silver I got. I have 5 reals. I got 3 half reals. Yeah. One real and a 2 real. And then this piece of 8.
The condition of it is just insane. You were able to get now. I mean, what are the odds here? So it's cut into 8 pieces, and you're able to actually get part of the date on one of the 8 here.
Wow. Yeah, that is. That's
pretty cool. Yeah, you can see the part of the 17.
1700s. Wow.
That's
and
cool.
you know what the best thing is, Ken? Not only the laugh and the smile in the video, but look at Bill like right now. He's reliving this entire moment again.
He is,
and he's grinning from ear to ear, like and he's got it right there. Look at that.
Look at that. Oh man, look at that. It's the size comparison is really crazy to see in the video, but that's awesome.
Well, yeah, take a whole silver dollar and I mean, you cut that up, and man, those are some big pieces. And why would they cut those into eighths? Why would they cut them?
That's the way they made change. I was like 8 real is considered like a dollar, like a silver dollar. And then you cut it in 8 pieces, and just
essentially 1 real. Sure.
Yeah. Fractional change.
Sure. Yeah.
Gosh. So how relic hunters see the light shine on his hole, it was meant to be. So like Bill, did the clouds part and the angels sing and the light shine down on you? Did you glow?
Yeah.
I bet you did.
Hooting and hollering there when I took my hands straight across the dirt, and I seen that silver there in the ground. It's like, is this what I think it is?
Yeah, I was going to ask you, did you know immediately what it was, or do you're like, wait a minute?
I thought I knew what it was. I was pretty sure. You don't see too much, silver cut in that,
right,
shape.
Yep.
Wow.
Definitely a bucket list item someday. Don't
Absolutely.
think we're going to find them around here in Colorado, but someday.
It only took 49 years to find that.
That's amazing.
That's absolutely incredible.
Yep.
And I remember hearing in the video that it was really at the base of a tree. You had to kind of maneuver around some roots, and you had said something about the other Bill had found a button like right next to it.
Yeah, he found the button probably a couple feet away from it.
Okay.
There was a tree, there was the coin, and then there was like a little wild rose bush sticking up there. That's probably why he didn't.
Here's another shot here. You know, Bill actually made it into American Digger magazine a couple times.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah,
And,
2 issues in a row.
2 issues in a row. And there's a shot of that cut 8. And, you know, the one thing I wanted to point out, the most important thing I wanted to point out about this article was if you look down there, Tony, in red, you'll see that it says what he was using. See that? I know you got to look closely, but
no, I can't see that.
You can't see that.
I can't see that. Whatever.
How long you been swinging the Deus 2, Bill?
Probably about 2 or 3 years now.
Did you swing the Deus 1 before that?
Yeah. I had that for probably a good 5 years or more. So when I went from the Deus 1 to the Deus 2, it really wasn't that much of a difference. You know, there was some really different, you know, on the tones and stuff like that, and some of that. But the Deus 2 was a lot more stable. Wasn't really as noisy, you know, as the Deus 1 was. It you know, you get it high on the sensitivity, and it'd start crackling and making a noise. The Deus 2 pretty much doesn't do that unless you got some really bad ground.
Yeah. What did Bill say a minute ago? He said, well, you found that cut 8. What did he say, Tony?
Where was that here? Hold on.
Yeah.
He was yelling, Bill, I got a triangle. I was like, huh, a triangle?
What's a triangle?
like the triangle you play in the elementary school band, you know, in the back. Ding, ding, ding. That kind of triangle? No, way better triangle.
He also said that his battery died, or he would have got it on his next swing. Did he go away and you can't? Did you come in and take his thunder? Is that what he's trying to say here? Well, I'm glad you guys have fun together out there for sure.
I mean, Bill Marsh has had that since 2014. So if he didn't find it by then, it's open. It's free game now. Anybody else, it's all yours. You had the opportunity. So,
oh boy. Have you updated to the new version yet, Bill? What version on your Deus 2 are you using?
I haven't put the new one on yet. The new one's still just a beta version. You know, it's still a test version.
Right.
So I think I'm going to wait until I get the full, you know, thing done.
Are you on 2 right now?
Yeah, 2.1, I think it is.
Yeah.
Whatever the latest was.
Right. And sorry, Tony, we're going to talk Deus talk. We used to outlaw Denny from coming on here and talking about the T word. You know, he put himself down in the thing. Now, I don't know. I haven't seen him in a while.
He doesn't like moving over here to YouTube. He liked it better when we were just on Spreaker.
Yeah.
He pops in every once in a while, usually at the end of the show.
Yeah. I wish we could still do that on Spreaker.
I agree.
If you want to have a night where you don't have to talk much, just get Denny in here.
Yeah.
He'll talk the whole night, and you won't even really have to say anything.
when we were still on Spreaker, he would call in every single week.
Yep.
Without fail. We got to talk to him. Absolutely.
We need to have him on here. That'd be a good.
Absolutely.
Because then Tony and I could sip on bourbon and we just let him go.
That's right.
Yeah.
Once in a while, just
ask him, what was that?
Poke him a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was that like? Tell me more about that.
That's all we'd have to do. Tell us what that was about. Yeah.
Oh,
He's
man.
a good guy, man. He's a good guy. I got to detect alongside of him in digging in Virginia at Coles Hill.
Oh, yeah.
When I was there, he was over there side of me, and I don't think we knew each other as well then because it was a while ago. But yeah. Anyways,
I've known Danny for probably back in the early 80s.
Is that right?
Wow.
Yeah. He's a good
Those
guy.
are the guys, I tell you, man, like Ken, we got to go to DIV. We need to go to just back east and those type of events. And you just want to be able to fly on the wall around the people that have been in this hobby for that long. I mean, I just am in complete awe of what they've seen over the last, for Bill, 50 years. Gosh, what an amazing community, amazing hobby, and some amazing detectorists still out there.
Yeah.
Still doing it.
Yep, still doing
Still
it.
getting on it. Still finding pieces of 8. I tell you that. I haven't found one of those. I've only got 42 more years to go before I'm allowed to find a piece of 8. So I'm 7 years in.
You saw what Larry Stevens found, though, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He found that full 8.
He found the full 8.
He didn't get that.
He was with Lloyd.
He got the whole thing. Huh?
He got
the whole thing. He didn't even bother. He was with Lloyd, right?
That was a big chunk of silver, man.
That's huge.
Yeah.
We still need to get them on too.
Here's another one of my bucket lists that I just picked up.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a cap bus? Cap bus. 18.
Cap bus half dime.
What is it?
1835.
1835 cap bus half dime. Boy, those are little. Oh, look how beautiful that is.
Yeah.
It's a great eagle.
Yeah.
Great eagle.
Yeah. Look at that half dime. For those of you listening on the replay, you got to come over here and check out the video on this. I know those that listen on the audio only are like, man, we can't see it. Beautiful, beautiful coin bill. Boy, a little.
Yeah, you found that not long ago. A couple months ago, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that was just a couple weeks ago.
A couple weeks ago, yeah.
Yeah.
Man, couldn't imagine.
A little squeaker that was, I bet. Or did it ring?
It was a solid 85.
85.
It was probably about 4 or 5 inches.
Yep. I think that's what mine was too. I found a seated half dime. And
I've got
a little one.
I got 2 seated half dimes, and then I got the bust one.
Wow.
That's actually my first bust coin that found natural.
Yeah.
That's great.
It is great.
Wow.
Exciting find for sure. Like you had to clean that one off to even see what you had. You know what I mean? Like, that's not a seated.
The back side up.
Oh.
I took my thumb and went across to, the thing there, and I could see that eagle. Yeah. I knew it was good, and I flipped it over and seen that bust on there.
Yeah.
So finally.
Yeah. Bill said it was close to your house too.
Yeah. It's probably from my house. It probably, if the crow flies, be a little more than a mile.
Jeez. Were you by yourself or were you out with Bill?
I was back there by myself that time.
Yeah.
That's one of those you get something, there's nobody to holler at.
Yeah.
Right.
You couldn't tell Bill, I've got a circle. I've got a circle.
Sorry. I got a shiny circle. Who did you call somebody when you're still in the field?
No, but I put a picture. I took some pictures of it and put it on Facebook. It says "Just Doug."
Oh, gosh.
That is so cool, man. Congratulations. So what's left on your bucket list, Bill?
Oh, yeah.
Come on. Can't be much.
There's two that I should have had by now, but 2-cent piece and a trime.
2-cent piece.
I cannot seem to get the coil over one of them. That and a gold coin.
Yeah. 2-cent piece and a trime and a gold coin.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's still a great list. I mean, that's not a lot of people have found those anyways. So
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Trime. That's
Yeah,
a little bitty coin too.
I want to find a trime for sure.
I've gotten 3 of the 3-cent nickels, but I haven't got a trime.
Now, do they find large cents up in your neck of the woods?
You mean the Ohio Weedy?
Is that what they call them? The Ohio Weedy? Shoot.
Whoa,
you guys throw them in their hedgerows too, like they do in England? Just toss them in there?
I don't go that far.
Wow, Ohio Wheaties.
Find a lot of them, huh?
I tell you, so when I first started digging, I kind of friended a detectorist out there in Ohio named Don. He's a Detection Connection, and I went out to Ohio, or he said, you need to come out to Ohio. I'll put you on large cents. Same exact. He's like, we found them out here like Wheaties, and we were out in this field, and I kid you not, there was like between 5 and 7 of them found just right off the bat, like before I found mine. And I did find one, but it was like boom, boom, boom. He found a trime as well when we were out there. And but just, man, they went out there and flung those big coppers around out there.
Yeah.
I would like to find one. We're not finding many of those here in Colorado.
No.
Just like to find one. Someday I'll get out there to Philadelphia or up to Ohio and find me a Wheatie, a big Wheatie.
Well, it looks like you need to get over to the Button Foundation house, of course, because that's where Bill got his trime.
Yeah.
But he didn't find the piece of 8.
He got the trime, I got the piece 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd take the piece of 8.
Trade.
You made out on that deal.
Here's a question came in from Relic Jedi. He said, any Morgan's Raiders sites you've detected, Bill, over the years?
Yeah, we did it's about 3 of them with CWPPO.
There you go.
Where they were working. We did down by McConnellsville. There was one there, where we crossed the river, and then did one in I think it was Jackson, Ohio. Down. It was trying to think what town was that near. But we found some stuff for the one down at I think it was called Lockport. That's where he crossed the river. And there, they had a monument or a plaque set up. It was about, it says that's where he crossed the river. I think we figured out that he crossed the river was probably about a half mile up a road. But all the stuff was being dug up there.
Gotcha. Bill said Chillicothe.
Chillicothe.
It's a town in southern Ohio.
Yeah. I don't remember if it's that one or not.
Yeah.
Chillicothe, that's kind of southeast of Columbus. Or southwest of Columbus, I mean.
We had some other questions come in.
Yeah.
Jim Steele wanted to know, you ever dug a brothel coin, Bill?
I don't, not like the token type. I've got a couple of those, like, heads and
Heads-
tails.
Tails, yeah.
There's an archaeologist here in Colorado right now, up in the mountains near us, that is doing her archaeological site on a brothel location, very old, popular, historic brothel up in one of these mountain mining towns. And man, I'm just trying itching to get up there with her and help her with that, and see kind of stuff we can recover, and keep offering our metal detecting services to her. But being an archaeologist, she's not too interested in that. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Our Relic Hunter says you've never dug a brothel token, but you spent a few. This is why we need Marsh on here with us.
That's right.
He's got a lot of comments over here in the live chat.
I figured he'd be off to the side there heckling.
Right.
Yeah. Here's one. You talk about one of your best finds ever.
Yes.
Here's one. I don't know if you can read it.
Uh-oh. We're going to put you up here, and yep.
It's an SLQ, Standing Liberty Quarter. Yeah.
Here's a hint on the backside. You notice an eagle?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
No stars underneath the eagle.
Okay.
There's two things. One of them is the 16. The other is a 16 type 1.
Mm.
The 16 is probably one of the lowest mintage coins of the 20th century. Only 52,000 of them were ever made.
My gosh. Very low mintage.
And then there's the other. That's the 17.
That has some
good... waiting for show and tell here. This is great.
Yeah. Oh, so cool. Yep.
No stars under the eagle on the type 1.
Okay. I learned something there. I don't dig a lot of the SLQs, so
yeah, neither.
That there, the 16, that's one of the probably rarer coins, of the 20th century. Yeah, but that wasn't some sort of minnow or something like that.
Is that when you dug? Is that a dug coin?
Yeah. Both of those were dug coins. Both of them come out the same day.
Oh gosh.
Oh wow. Got the 16 then the 17.
If the condition of the 17 was the condition of the 16 was the condition of 17, that would have really been a good one. I mean, big money.
You might be able to retire from that, probably.
And that one right there, the 16, that paid for a couple metal detectors.
Yeah.
Nowadays.
Right.
Is that one of your all-time favorite finds? Maybe coins-wise that you found?
Coin-wise, probably. That, and the two here, like, the 8 real, the cut real and the bust half dime. Those probably my best, coins.
And 2 of those have been dug, within the last 6 months. You're only getting better with age and time here. It's great.
Yeah. But this is definitely got to be my oldest find.
Okay.
Is that an axe head?
Axe head?
No.
Okay, it's broken.
Yeah. Both of those are what you call ancient copper culture.
Oh, is that copper culture?
Jeez.
Yeah. There you go, Copper Joe, if you're still watching. Yeah. What were they used for? Do you know?
The one I know they called it a celt, like I guess they use them for cutting or chopping or whatever. And then the other one, I heard it's called a gorge or gouge or something like that. It's handmade out of float copper.
Wow.
Jeez.
It's kind of, it looks like it's probably a scraper of some sort because it's kind of got the beveled edge on it down there.
Yeah. That's such an interesting era and a niche, in terms of history.
That
there you go.
From what I found out about it, it's from what they said, AD to 100 AD.
Oh,
woodland.
Wow. How's it feel to hold something that old in your hand?
Right.
Know that it was a valued tool. You know what I mean? From back in those days. Yeah.
When I dug them up, they were stacked on top of each other, just like that.
Oh my! No way.
Oh really?
They just popped up out of the ground. They were probably 8-10 inches in the ground, right up next to a big giant oak tree.
Those trees, man, they always hide the goodies. Always next to trees, man. You're gonna find some good stuff next to trees. Yeah. Did you know what it was immediately, Bill? Or were you like, what is this metal?
I didn't. I thought it was probably revolutionary. Looked like that little axe, like or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I got home and I took some pictures and put it on Facebook there, and then I started getting some comments from a few people that told me, and then another guy told me, give me a group, says go post those pictures on there. It was a amateur archaeologists group. And they were the ones that actually identified it for me.
Wow.
That's so cool.
I can't even wrap my head around that. That's amazing.
And you weren't hunting for copper culture, right? Did you know you were in a copper culture area?
Yeah. But that whole day I was digging, flattened out pop cans about 8-10 inches deep.
Oh, I don't like.
And then I hit that one. But when I hit that one, I knew it was something good because I was using that to F-75.
Yeah.
And I went off that thing, and it hit like 97 or something like that. Just solid. No, crackle, no iron or nothing. It's the first time I'd ever seen a signal like that.
Yeah. You almost don't trust it, right? You're like, oh, that's too high. That's just too high. I'm not going to do that.
But it was too good of a signal not to check it.
Yeah. Yeah. That F-75 was a good machine. Still is a good machine. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
East Idaho Digger asked if you've ever found any cannonballs.
I've got a couple of small, like about the size of a tennis ball or something. Got a couple of them. I've got a bunch of frags.
Yeah.
Any fuses?
Yeah, I've got a few brass fuses.
Those are interesting.
I think I found them down to Mumfordville, Kentucky.
Oh, no kidding.
Nice.
Very cool. We got a few more questions to get through here. Let me see. How about Jim Steele? How many silver dollars have you dug in your career?
Ooh.
Have you gotten any of them? And
natural, I have never gotten a silver dollar.
Wow.
In the coin hunts and seated hunts.
Yeah.
I probably got 65 or 75.
There you go.
One hunt over in Pennsylvania, I dug 5 in one hunt.
Wow.
Jeez. Wow. I'd love to find a Morgan. That would be just
Like,
blow my
like
mind.
wild, like natural.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be
I've
just
never
great.
found one natural.
Yeah. Have you
It's
been
just
with
another
somebody
one of
maybe
them
that has?
Huh?
Have you been around with somebody else that's dug one naturally?
Never hunting with somebody when they got one right there.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Wow.
I couldn't even
Kind of a
imagine.
rare thing.
I couldn't imagine pulling back the dirt and seeing that big chunk of.
No.
Here's the thing: I probably wouldn't do. I don't think I would trust it. I don't think I would trust my machine showing me something that big and been like, well, now I got to go look at it. Like I.
Well,
would
you
be
don't.
thinking,
You don't trust your machine if you find Roman, so
oh, I just don't know if it gave me a big old 90 something, if I would be like a 96 or a 97, if I'd be like, ooh, that sounds really good. I guess it would have to sound really good on both sides
Yeah.
of it. You know what I mean?
yeah.
You just
But
no change in the signal, no bounce or nothing.
yeah, maybe. But someday, you never know. The thing is, a lot of sites that Tony and I dig, Bill, if they drop something like that, they found it. They went and got it.
Yeah.
We're not finding too many coins in the sites where we dig. It's very rare when we find a coin. I mean, we're searching for them, we're listening for them, but it's pretty rare to find any kind of coins in some of the sites we've been hunting, because they were poor, back then, and needed every scrap they could get.
Sure.
Yeah. The site there where I got that half dime, I got the half dime and 2 large cents out of there, and probably about 2 dozen flat buttons, and I think a couple of tombacks. I don't think I've got any pewter out of that site, but I've dug some pewter buttons before.
What do you think's your favorite relic? Is it that
Copper?
that copper?
Yeah, that. Relics are kind of odd. Just some stuff is really to somebody else it probably wouldn't make any sense, but it's just how old it is and stuff.
Yeah.
To us, it makes sense. The history. You're sitting there holding something that's that old. Just you can't even wrap your head around it sometimes.
I've got to talk about it. I've got to talk about the elephant in the room. I just got to bring it up. On your back wall, Bill, am I looking at bayonets and a sword?
Actually, that's a bayonets hanging, and there's actually 2 swords.
No,
not one.
One
two.
of them. One of them.
Look! Oh my god!
Oh my gosh!
I was checking it out up there, and I'm just like, "Is that what?" Oh, it's full.
It's complete. Sure.
It's complete.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Oh,
beautiful. Now, do you get that at the Militaria show?
No, I actually bought this back in the 60s. Or not,
wow.
No, not 60s, it'd be 70s. But guy was working with in at NCR, he had this a saber and 3 bayonets. He wanted $60 for it.
$60.
I couldn't get it out fast enough. And this one here is a musician's sword. I actually won that relic hunt that Terry Smith put on.
Okay.
I had the token that won this one.
Do you go to many events, Bill?
Oh, not as many now because there's not as many, and the fact that I don't have, anybody. I got my brother to go with us on some places, but he's still working, so he can't get off on a lot of them. So, used to, back in the 80s, 90s, and that we would hit probably 20, 30 hunts a year. It seemed like some summers, and we was gone almost every weekend.
That's great.
Do you wish CWPPO was still around? I've only heard about that hunt.
Yeah.
And I always
those were really fun hunts.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd only heard about them, and I wish that they were still around so I'd get a chance to go to them. Yeah.
Yeah, I missed the first one, and then I was at the rest of them.
Yeah. Well, Bill, we're getting close to the end. I did want to kind of read a comment that came in from Heavy Metal Detectors, Kentucky. He sent a real nice comment about you, and he just said, Bill, I want to publicly thank you for being one of the kindest detectors in the hobby. You're always friendly to everyone and always make others feel welcome. Thank you, sir. That's a very good tribute to, to you there. Thank you there, Heavy Metal Detectors, Kentucky. Have you been out detecting with him before?
Maybe if I knew what his name was.
Oh, yeah.
I have a feeling I probably met him more than one time.
Sure.
Right. You just don't know him as that.
Yeah, I just don't know him as with that number or that name.
Yeah. Well, cool.
That's a great comment.
Yeah. Yeah. He, I think his name is Stuart.
Stuart.
Yep. Maybe his name was Stuart. No, maybe not. Maybe not. We have so many people that they send me messages, and I'm like, "Oh, that's who you are." Oh, you're Relic Jedi, or
right.
Come and detect. Yeah. Over
some
the years,
people I could, I know them and who they are, know what their screen name is.
Yeah. Well, cool, Bill. You've been a great guest. I know that hour and a half goes by really fast.
Yeah.
And, we've enjoyed getting to know you better and talking about your career in this hobby. And I think we'll if there's anything you want to part us with some words of wisdom, about the detecting hobby and, give some tips to people of what they should do. The floor is yours. And then what we'll do is we'll put you back down in the green room. Tony and I'll end the show, and then we'll say our goodbyes off air if that's okay.
Well, I think you just, when you go out digging, make sure you fill your holes. Make sure, even if you're in the woods or something like that, make sure you always try to make it look as good as it was before you started digging. Take out your trash and just, get permissions and just, just keep on digging.
Yeah. Yeah, it sure is a lot of fun. And boy, we take a lot of lessons from you being involved in it for this many years. Right, Tony? Yeah. Like what's going to happen when we can say that we've been into the hobby for 50 years?
50 years.
Yeah.
I told you I still got 42 more to go until I get to there.
That's right.
Jeez.
That's right. I mean, Bill, though, you must have seen so many changes over the years with technology.
Yeah.
The amount of people that are into it, you know what I mean? A lot of changes probably you've seen.
Yeah. I've actually went from BFO to
BFOs,
like the days too, a computer on a stick.
Yep.
Right. That's what it's like. Used to be a muffler on a stick, and now it's a computer on a stick.
That's basically what it is.
Yep. Well, Bill Marsh added to your send off, and he says, "And stay out of Ohio."
He's the enforcer.
He's the enforcer.
Yeah.
You come to Ohio, he's at the border. He's at the, at the border, turning you right around.
Checking trunks for metal detectors.
I could see it.
Yeah.
So, all right, Bill. Thank you, sir, for coming on with us.
Yep.
It's been
hang
awesome.
out for a second.
Hang out for just a second. We'll end the show.
Yeah, okay.
Great job, buddy. Appreciate you being on with us. Man, that was good stuff.
That's awesome. I'm so glad that we finally got him on. And
Yeah.
And we could go another hour and a half. I mean, we didn't even talk about, you barely touched on it, you know, how much it's changed. I want to get into that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, seeing the difference of the machine, seeing, you know, just the community, how social media has changed everything, like all those kind of different things. You just got, it's just, what a great guy.
You know, that's the first time I've heard too about the community back then. Like I've heard a lot of stories from our club, the Eureka Treasure Hunters Club, been around since 1973. And we have a lot of long time detectorists in our club that have been doing it for a long time. And when you talk to them, they talk about what they used to do and what machines they've used. And they used to detect here and there, and they used to detect there. But the first time I've heard a story from Bill there about, he was part of this gang, you know, the Red Leg Gang. You know what I mean? It's that's so cool because it shows you that there was community around back there that, you know, would maybe it's very unique for back then to create this little gang of detectorists. Nowadays you have it like Quarter Hoarder and his group, or
Hoover Boys,
all that.
Yeah.
Well, those are just, you know, those are just people that are doing what Bill did back in the day. I think, Tony, we should start up the Red Leg Gang again.
No, I told you I can't wear those red polyester
as a throwback to Bill. Will you start the old Red Leg Gang? Oh man,
what a great guy.
Yeah,
and fun. he did say I'm heading out there mid June here, and I reached out the first thing. You know, I reached out when we made plans to head back there. I'm going back there for some personal things, and once I carved out some time, and I said I need to get a hold of the Bills, and I want to meet up with them, and I just want to be there, you know, and be able to experience that firsthand with them and stuff. So we're gonna hopefully meet up and dig, and we'll have maybe I'll have some stories too. I'll find the other 7 pieces to his pieces of 8. That's my
Yeah, you had invited me to go out there with you, and I just don't think I can make it. But how fun would that be? That'd be
yeah. I'm also gonna meet up with Thin Blue Diggers and Detection Connection. We'll dig a little bit with them too. So
Bill's
gonna be great.
Ohio Relic Hunter said, "Yep, come to Ohio. We check for guns at the border, and if you don't have one, we give you one."
I'm in. Shoot.
Right. That's great stuff, man. All right, what you got going on? We'll get out of here.
Yep, just you can find me anywhere on social media, from Instagram to Rumble, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, 5280 Adventures. Follow me over there. Leave me some comments. Talk with me. Send me some messages. Love talking with you guys. And come next week, well, we've got one more show next week, and then we've got Rush to the Rockies. We're going to have tons of live interviews, live coverage, just a whole bunch of fun through the whole weekend. So look for us next following weekend out there at Rush to the Rockies. It's gonna be a great time.
Yep. Excellent. Yeah, you can also find Tony at redleggang.com. He's over there. No,
dude, I had to come back for that one. No,
it's not worth.
I was kicking it. I was gonna let you just go off into the sunset, and you had to make it. Because I know what'll happen. We'll wear those red polyester leggings, and then you're gonna start swinging the dais too after that. That's just not happening.
With a hat on your head. All right. I won't talk any more stuff about you. Well, maybe I will, but hey everyone, thanks for joining us for Relics Radio. It was a lot of fun having Bill on. Check us out, Relics Radio. Hey, every Wednesday night, right here on YouTube. You have it over at Tony's channel at 5280 Adventures, and on my channel over at Adventures in Dirt. But no matter where you watch from, we enjoy you being here. Always live in the chat. Come join us. If you're just lurking and listening in or watching, come join us in the chat. It's a lot of fun, as you can see. But find me anywhere at Adventures in Dirt, and check out Rush to the Rockies. You got about another week and a half to go. Come on out. Get a team together for Masters of Metal. Come on out and bring your A game. Should be a lot of fun. Everyone have a great week. If you go out this weekend, go find the good stuff and tell us about it. We'll see you next week.
Grandma's Baroque.
that too.
Thank you so much for listening to Relics Radio. We will see you back here next week for another exciting guest. Until then, get out and dig it all.